But I do want to address just a little bit this issue of who gets to make the decisions and why and how do we consult with each other. And so Senator Gazelka started to articulate, as Senator Torres Reyes read the most recent op-ed in the state's biggest paper, that Senator Gazelka had talked to the POCI, and I don't have it in front of me, I don't know if he said caucus, and Senator Gazelka then started to say, well, I did, just not you. I talked to your people. I went to your district and the folks that were there. I talked to African-American people, and this is what they told me. So this really kind of gets at and crystallizes the conversation we're having today. So we're all duly elected here to represent our districts. Many of us have been elected here, everybody in the POCI caucus, multiple times, multiple elections, where people come and tell us we're very visible. We've been in our communities a long time. But Senator Gazelka said, well, you know, I don't know if Hayden the champion, I mean, I can give them a call, see how they're doing, our friends and Torres Ray or her. If they really know, let me go to their people and ask them, what do they want? Because I really need to get it from the horse's mouth, not from the folks that he works with, not from the folks that he has a relationship, not from the folks that are duly elected. Senator Gazelka, and I did have a conversation, pleasant, I always have a pleasant conversation with Senator Gazelka. I don't know anybody who hasn't. But when it came to making bills and policy, when it came to talking about who do we talk to our whole districts, and they certainly talk to us. My aide is on the floor. She'll tell you how many calls, how many emails, how many texts, how many Facebook notes, how many Twitter notifications we get. But Paul Gazelka said, no, that ain't, I'm not gonna trust Hayden on that one. I need to go and talk to the people, the black pastors, and see what they have to say. And then from there, I'll take that information, go talk to my good friend Warren Limmer, Senator Limmer, and we'll do what we always do. We'll figure out what's good for them. We'll construct policy and we'll say, you know what, that's good, because that's what they need. If you listen to this today, that's why Senator Torres Ray wanted to ask, what if we have been consulted? No, Senator Limmer hasn't called us. Senator Gazelka made a call, but there was no substantive negotiation. There was no like, here's what we're thinking to do, what do you think about that? Hey, is there anything that you think we might be missing? Hey, maybe you talk to somebody in your community. No, I mean, I didn't head up to Little Falls or Maple Grove and said, you know what? Let me go write a bill for Maple Grove or Little Falls, figure out what those people need up there. I'm gonna go to the lake and talk to them, find out what they want. What kind of regulations do they need up there? What are the things that I can do to help them? But not go to their duly elected representative. Mr. President, I didn't go down to Owatonna or Faribault and start asking them kind of what's going on. I trust that you know that, and that you'd come back and you'd say, hey, let me tell you about Highway 14, right? Let me tell you about 35W. Let me tell you what we need there. Let me tell you about the turkey processing plant in that county. Let me tell you what's happening in Brown County, right? Isn't that where you live? But no, what happened is we took the position that we always take. It's the parochial provision that I know. Well, let me say this. If you knew, we wouldn't be here. If you knew, we wouldn't have this the problem. If you understood our communities, then we wouldn't have it. You don't understand. And so your ability to seek and figure out what's going on, Senator Gazelka, has led you down this path that you're truly surprised. Of course you are, because you haven't talked to us. And your folks haven't talked to us. Not more than I appreciate members of your caucus and in this legislature that sent me a note wanting to check in on me, wanting to make sure that everything's okay. I really sincerely appreciate that. I want to make sure that those that are listening know that I appreciate that. But now when it's time to get down to what they call the nitty gritty, get something done for Mr. Floyd's legacy, avenge, right? Make sure that the things that didn't happen to them didn't happen in vain. Make sure that this doesn't happen to the next person. And now when it's come to time for the years and years and years Senator Torres Ray, myself, work that Senator Franzen does on that block, the work that Senator Champion has done for years on West Broadway, the work Senator Hur has done in Hmong Village and all of the places on the east side where he gets not a bit of credit most of the time. When it's time to rebuild those things, when those things go up in an instant, we thought, nah, can't trust Hayden on that one. Nah, I don't know if Champion knows. We'll give him some pleasantries, but I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna figure out what's going on. Then I'm gonna come back to the big house, to the Capitol, sit down, call a couple of my friends that I have some senior members here. We're gonna produce some bills. We're gonna be benevolent, and we're gonna spend just a little bit of time, 5 days, and see if we can't get nothing through. And then all of a sudden when we say, well, hey, it might not be the way it works for us, or hey, maybe we should add this. And then when we come together and we say, well, listen, okay, you wrote it, this is the way it goes, but let us add a few things in that we think might actually work. Let's have a few more conversations. Senator Gazelka, you're surprised. Mr. Majority Leader, you're like, whoa, like, wait a minute, why didn't I know that? Well, you didn't know it because you didn't talk to us. You didn't ask us. So if you don't ask us in the work sessions, in the committees, in that, if you don't construct Senator Limmer bills, Senator Engelbretson bills that work for us, then we have to take the opportunity here. It's something that the young people say in the inner city of Minneapolis and St. Paul, Senator Champion. They say nothing for us unless it's by us, right? And what they keep telling us is don't do things to us unless you talk to us. That's all that we're asking. And then we can find some sort of unity. We can come together. So it's not a time to be defensive. It is a time to work together. It is a time to figure out how we can best work together. But as I said before, we can lead. We understand it. Senator Rolfe said his police community relationships in the black community in St. Cloud are going pretty well. And I said, yeah, because they got a black chief that he listens to. And he's working with the NAACP and others. So the working relationship between us somehow got missed in this process. And now we're kind of sitting here. People are tired and surprised. What are those folks doing? What are the Posse Caucus doing? Oh, not that Posse Caucus. I talked to the other one, the one on the street, the one on the block. That's the one Senator Gazelka said he talked to. Well, Senator Gazelka talked to us. We've worked together a long time. This ebbs and flows along the way. We spent a little bit of time working on economic development. We spent a little time working on health care. We spent a little time on judiciary. And if we don't know, we sure got some really good allies that stand next to us, right? It's the reason why I'm sitting in this seat today, because my friend said, you know what, Hayden, it's time for you to help lead this process because it's about you and your people. That's why I'm sitting here, if you want to know. That's why it is. So I would just say, back to what we were here for, Mr. President, that I support Senator Champion's amendment, and I think that it wouldn't be such a controversial topic if we would have had these conversations before. Thank you, Mr. President.